Hey guys, Movie Junkie for Life, and this is my review of VHS Viral. It's an anthology series, and this is part three in that series. Basically, there's this VHS tape that's going around, and when people watch it, crazy things happen. In this installment, VHS Viral, as the word viral would bring to mind, internet, and the tape is now basically being released online to cause more chaos. That's the easiest way I can describe this movie. Sadly, I have to say this disappointed. Now, VHS Viral and the VHS series, it's similar to films like, let me think, Tales from the Hood, Tales from the Crypt. It's that type of anthology where there's usually one main story, and then you have three or four different segments that all line up, and then eventually you come back to the main story. I quite enjoyed the second VHS movie. The first one was okay, but it wasn't anything really that grand. I would say like a 5 out of 10. The second one I actually enjoyed a lot more. I thought it was put together better. I thought the stories they picked for the anthology were stronger, sorry. And like I was telling a friend of mine, let's say there are 5 stories, 3 of them were good. And in my opinion, if you can do that with an anthology, you pretty much have a better than average story going on. So I sat down to watch VHS Viral with a lot of hope based on what I'd seen on the trailer and what I'd known part 2 to be. Unfortunately, part 3 does not live up to its promise. It's quite chaotic, if that's the best word I can use to describe it. You're watching it and there's just way too much trying to happen at the same time. And honestly, the most disappointing aspect of this third movie was, to me, everything felt incomplete, with the exception of the first story, which was a magician who gets a hold of this magical object that has great power. I don't want to give away too much, but that was the best story in the entire thing. The main story made no sense. Events would occur and we were just supposed to go along with the chaos and the madness and accept it. And I have no issue with chaos and madness. I'm quite a fan of the crazy. But it has to have some type of method to your madness. You are not Joker, right? And it has to have some method to your madness. Some way, when you're telling a story, there must be some type of cohesiveness for people to feel like, okay, there was a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it made sense. These films did not make any sense. For instance, there was one where a guy made a machine that took him to a parallel world. Now, I've actually seen this done much better in an earlier film. I'm trying to remember what horror movie it was that I saw recently, and it was another anthology. I don't think it was the ABCs of Death, because I didn't see that, but there was another one where they did this exact same parallel world thing, and it was done much, much better. There was no viable explanation for what was happening other than a parallel door open up and there was mess on the other side. Then we had some teenage skaters that go to Mexico to skate and accidentally cause some cult to go crazy and release some type of monster. Again, this one was even worse because it was, you know what? It was an excuse to shoot using the GoPro cameras. I have a GoPro camera as well. It's a fun camera, but it's not something that I want to watch an entire movie shot with. These are small cameras that are meant to get you in the action, so to speak. But it just, I mean, honestly, the visuals weren't so much my issue. It was the story. There was no story. There was just an event that was taking place. We were dropped into that event. We saw the event happen. And honestly, when it was done, I was sitting there watching it with a friend and we were both like, okay, what happened? Because it ended so abruptly. We have no clue as to what happened to the heroes or the protagonists or whatever you want to call them. It just ended. and it would just take you to the next scene, which is supposed to be the main story, which again makes no sense. The previous two, they made sense, you know, they had a rhythm to them. This third VHS movie, I cannot recommend it at all. It's a huge disappointment. If you want to see the VHS films, I suggest 1 and 2. 1 is okay and 2 is better than average. As it is, I have to give VHS Viral a 3 out of 10. It is not cohesive, it is too chaotic, and it's a little hard on the eyes to watch. So, 3 out of 10. Okay, guys, till next time.